Okay, so differentiation with first principles. So we've looked at the introduction and we know where this is coming from. So effectively, differentiation is merely the slope formula doing exciting things for curves. Okay, so the slope formula for curves. Right? So let's have a look. Now, the only time you will have to do this method, or rather than the much simpler by rule method, is if they say from first principles. Okay, so that's the crucial point. Differentiate from first principles, you follow these steps. Okay, so the best bet is to write this out, okay, because then we're walking way through this. So the first thing we need to write down is f of x. Okay, so f of x is just the function, in this case x squared plus 3x minus 7. Second step then, f of x plus h. So we're moving along. So we want to get f of x plus h. So all we do is, like in our simple functions, everywhere there's x, we're replacing with x plus h. We have to be very careful at the beginning, because all of the x was squared, so all of the x plus h is squared, so brackets. Okay, and this is where people are going to go wrong. 3 into x plus h minus 7. Next step is remove the brackets. Now I'm going to go through this. This is called expanding a binomial. I'm going to go through this the long way here. Okay, when we do the second example, I'm going to do it the short way, and the short way you'll be able to find it in a quick fix zone in the classroom. Okay, so the long way, x plus h by x plus h. All we're doing here now is effectively multiplying out the brackets. Looks longer than that, but that's all we're doing. So we've x squared plus hx plus hx plus h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 7. So we end up with x squared plus 2hx plus h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 7. So we've got our f of x plus h. So we put it in, we remove the brackets, and we're here. Now the next step we put in f of x plus h here again for clarity. We want to subtract f of x. So straight underneath f of x plus h, we're subtracting f of x like up here. And remember, all of these are going to be in f of x plus h. So just put them in directly underneath to make it easier. Okay, and subtract. And when you subtract, they will all cancel. And what you will find happening, I'm going to write this out in full. You don't really need to write what I'm doing on the left here. It just looks better. Again, it's kind of clearer. Okay, what you should be left with here, every term you're left with should have a h. If it doesn't have a h, you've made an error. Okay, next step, divide by h. So we'll just do it here. So divide by h, divide by h. Okay, and then 2hx divided by h is just 2x, isn't it? H squared divided by h is h, and 3h divided by h is 3. Okay, very clear on that. So 2hx divided by h is cancelled. H squared divided by h, we just have one h on top. 3h divided by h, and h is cancelled. And we're there. We're almost there. The last step then, look back up to here, the limit as h approaches 0 of the whole lot. Okay, this says you should put this in. Okay, remember h approaching 0, we can't divide by 0. We want h as small as possible, but it can't be 0. So we say the limit as h gets really, really close to 0, but doesn't quite make it. Okay, so in this case, it's 2x plus h plus x plus 3. Okay, if h approaches 0, that becomes 0. So we're left with 2x plus 3. And that is dy dx. Now from your rule, we know what the answer should be. X squared is 2x plus 3x is 3. 7 disappears. We have the correct answer. And we're done. Right? That's step 1. Okay, that's how you do it. Now, I'm going to do one more, which is a little bit more, which we put in a minus into it to make things look a bit more interesting. Okay? So, let's say we're differentiating this from first principles. Okay, so 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Okay, so let's go down through the steps again. F of x is your 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Second step, f of x plus h. 2 into x plus h squared minus 7 into x plus h plus 3. I'm going to do this by the shortcut this time. So I'm squaring the binomial. So it's going to be 2, multiplying the whole lot of it, x squared plus h squared plus twice their product, 2hx. You can do it the long way or the short way. Okay, remember, do you want to check the short way? Quick fix zone. Minus 3x minus 7x minus 7h plus 3. The 2 now multiplies all of those. 2x squared plus 2h squared plus 4hx minus 7x minus 7h plus 3. Okay, right, that's f of x plus h done. Okay, so step 1 was writing f of x plus h. Step 2 is get f of x plus, step 1 is f of x, step 2 is f of x plus h, step 3 is subtract them. So we're now going to subtract f of x, and straight underneath again, the terms from f of x, straight underneath. There you go, there you go, there you go, and they will always cancel. So you're left with f of x plus h minus f of x equals 2h squared plus 4hx minus 7h. And once again at this stage, there should be h's everywhere. Minus f of x, yeah. We then divide by h, and we're left with 2h plus 4x minus 7. Okay, and then finally we get the limit as h approaches 0 of all of this. Okay, and the h disappears, so we get 4x minus 7, which is what we expected if we were doing it by rule. This would differentiate to that. Okay, so remember, I'll now give you examples, do the examples, make sure you're getting the correct answer, and you move on to the next mini lesson. Thanks.